Hi there. In this lecture we see Enrico Paoli against Mikhail Tal in 1963, the Astalos Memorial, 6th edition, e4, and Tal plays c5, knight f3, e6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, a6. So the can variation gives priority to this bishop. It can sometimes be used aggressively. We see knight c3, queen c7. So again, this bishop has interesting possibilities early on. Bishop e3, knight f6, bishop e2, and now bishop b4. So this looks like a really annoying pin. And white actually does technically make a mistake here, queen d3. Believe it or not, this early on. It is, according to engines, quite a difficult position for white after queen d3. If castling, this is a much more dynamic treatment. Just sacrifice a pawn or two, the center pawn. It looks crazy, but this would be an interesting way of playing it for white, to give up two pawns with a lasting kind of pressure. So for example like this, and the bishop pair is quite dangerous. The dark square bishop without a counterpart especially is dangerous. It's a strong amount of pressure for white. It's complicated, but this kind of thing should be considered. With queen d3, it turns out Tal played knight c6, but knight takes e4 here seems very interesting. So for example, queen takes, we just take on c3 and it can crash through. Or more kind of a test is actually, well, let's have a look. a3, taking on c3, queen takes c3. That's also going to be good for black. If white just ignores it to try and play dynamically, on this occasion, it seems this situation is fairly favourable. Black could just castle here and sack the exchange and be in a very, very good place with central pawn mobility. So this variation seems very, very nice for black, the potential of it. So for example here, knight takes, getting the bishop here. It's a rolling centre, bishop here. It's a very nice scenario. So it turns out knight takes e4 seems to be quite a strong move in this situation. But anyway, knight c6 was played. Point out, knight takes c6, b takes, a3. The bishop drops back. And black does have that semi-open file to play with, to put pressure on the queen side, to look forward to. For the moment, castling, rook ad1, d5, e takes, c takes, and also this c file. So it seems as though black's got these files to put pressure on white with. We see bishop f3. Already, this is getting to be an extremely difficult position after bishop f3. It turns out here, knight a4, even though this looks kind of not what you'd want to do with white, to defend the queen side in advance, but this might be the necessary way to play. For example, queen c3 here, and this situation, it looks as though black's got a nice advantage here. So it's kind of miserable, but the way the game's played after bishop f3 is actually, it makes things worse. After rook b8, we see bishop dropping back to c1. The thing is, if b3, then we just take on a3, weakness of the last move. If rook b1, then this is very unpleasant for white as well. So, for example, knight d7, bishop d6, and black is looking forward to, great prospects here after h6. So anyway, bishop c1 was played. And we have bishop d6, g3 shielding h2, knight d7, so with various options like knight e5, so the bishop drops back in advance of that. However, after knight e5, the knight's going to perch very comfortably now on c4. We have b4, which weakens the queen side, but it's a very difficult position. And Tal now plays a positional undermining move. What would you play here for 50 points? I mean, white has been, he's in a very difficult position. a5, just undermining white structure quite logically. We have b5, and now just taking on a3, and actually white was convinced, that they're pretty much busted here. that there are various ideas which are all pretty strong for black. So as an example, so why did white resign? If knight takes d5, we can just take that, and if bishop b2, f6, queen takes d5, this situation, after queen takes, there's knight c4, so it backfires right at the end, even that active sequence for white, where the rook and bishop are kind of forked. And rook c6 we just take. So if we have a look now, instead of knight takes d5, if bishop b2, then bishop e5 as an example, and then knight c4, this is just really miserable for white, this situation, where b5 is going to be dropping soon. It's a disconnected pawn, there's a pass pawn here, it's just a big advantage. So it was a bit of a generous resign, maybe. Knight takes a3, it's not as if white's getting checkmated, it's just white is actually just losing here positionally and materially. So an interesting can variation there for Mikhail Tal. So that early bishop move can cause concessions. We ended up with white having to face this very powerful central pawn structure from black, and there's two semi-open files. So very, very comfortable out of the opening in the Sicilian can variation there. I hope you got some points out of that. Thanks so much. Hi there. Thanks for getting to the end of the YouTube video. If you would like to see other Mikhail Tal games, I actually have an amazing course for Mikhail Tal, which is currently at 4.9 with over 400 students. You can check this out from the Kingscrusher TV page. So Chess Strategy and Tactics, Mikhail Tal's amazing games. You can check out some free preview videos as well here. If you do expand all sections, you can see the preview links to get some free previews. So I hope you do check out this course index and the free previews. So I really had a thrilling time actually checking out Mikhail Tal's games. So yeah, the YouTube video here you saw was just a sample from this course. I hope you check it out. Okay, thanks so much. Oh, by the way, comments, questions, likes, shares, all appreciated. And if you did get to this part of the video, please do leave some sort of comment like Tal fan. Okay, thanks again.